Hi everyone, it's Rosalind Owen again from Paper Kites. Here I am answering another question that gets asked a lot by parents and leaders. How do you lead children into supernatural experiences of their faith and encounters with Him when we haven't experienced it ourselves? And that's a very common question and one we do wrestle with. And I'm saying that question, you can probably hear the very familiar phrase that gets spoken around in leadership a lot, in that you can't lead people to places you have not been yourself. And whilst I understand that that's very applicable, I don't know that it really works well in this context. And so I found that when I limited myself to that sort of thinking with children, that really I was putting a limit across the gatherings because I was making agreement with that statement that it was solely reliant upon me and my experiences and my depth and my abilities rather than Jesus. So I decided to push that phrase aside and go, maybe not in this context. And then I began to see that, wow, in John chapter 10, it was an aha moment when I was reading it one day. John chapter 10 talks about Jesus being a good shepherd. But when you read the story, there's also a gatekeeper in there. And it's the gatekeeper that opens up the door or opens up a gate of a sheep pen and lets the good shepherd come in. And once that happens, that the good shepherd then leads and guides his sheep in and out of the sheep pen. You know the story. Well, I began to see that, gosh, I can act like a good good gatekeeper. I can open up the door and I can say, Jesus, come into my gathering. Now, I would do that when I'm doing an encounter with children at home. I would do that in the car. I do it when I'm talking with adults and leading them into an encounter. Or a group of 20 or 500, it doesn't matter. Because I am then trusting Jesus that He is the expert. He sees everything. He knows everything. He does know how to lead and guide His sheep. He is a very good shepherd. Once I did that, I found it just changed everything because I was stepping out in faith a little bit and trusting Jesus and taking off a limitation and making it unlimited to what Jesus could do in our midst. And then I got the privilege of listening to so many children's encounters about how Jesus does speak to them. He leads and guides them. It was amazing. And I became the student again and I got to learn so much about the kingdom and how Jesus actually leads and guides us. It was wonderful. So I hope that encourages you that you too can be a good gatekeeper. You can host the presence of God, invite Him to come into your meet and trust Him that He will lead and guide the sheep. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a know-it-all because He does. He sees everything. He knows everything. And He knows how best to talk to these beautiful children that are in your care. So I hope that blesses you. Take a risk today with your kids at home or planning your sessions for Sunday to invite Jesus into the midst and trust that He will lead and guide them.